Yeah, his paint was already scratched from it. I'm not putting him back in the box. Sorry. Hello and welcome to a Transformers review. Today we're taking a look at War for Cybertron Kingdom, Deluxe Class, Warpath. Alright, let's start off as always with the articulation. Head is on a ball joint. Shoulders are universal joints. I wish they locked in a little bit better, but that's not that big a deal. Elbows are universal joints, and wrists are on a very, very tight, on mine anyway, swivel. Waist rotation, also very, very tight on mine. Universal hips, this one's a little bit floppy on mine. Thigh swivel, just under 90-degree bend at the knee, and outwards hinge at the ankle. Kinda wish they would go back to using ball joints a bit more, but yeah, can't really complain. This articulation's all I really want out of Warpath. Now moving on to accessories and gimmicks. He really only comes with one. This little shield piece which goes underneath his tank. And, I mean, it's fine. It's not much going on with it. It does raise an interesting thing I want to bring up, and that's there's a lot of superfluous paint on this thing. Also, the render clearly shows that this was white plastic and this was red, but, oh well. The thing is, though, this is red plastic, this is red plastic, I'm pretty sure this is red plastic, but it's all painted the same red as this. And the treads, which are all molded in white plastic, are painted white. There's a notable difference between the plastic white and this white. It's painted. They painted white on white and red on red, and I really just, I don't know why they did that. It's such a weird choice. Anyway, this... Sorry I got a little bit sidetracked there, but it's such a strange decision. This has a 5mm peg, and there's 5mm pegs all over this guy, so just sort of put it wherever you feel like. They tell you to put it on the shoulder, and yeah, that kind of gives him a Zaku look, so I'm going to go with it, but you know, you can put it however you want. However, all these Kingdom figures also come with a card. I got Optimus Prime with this one. They're randomized for some reason. But two things. One, this effect is incredibly gaudy and looks like, you know, Chinese bootleg Pokemon cards. And also, this is a day after I opened it, and it was like this about 5 minutes after I took it out of the box. I don't know if it was pre-meant, but yeah, they're not exactly using the best card stock for these. Also, of course, he has the line-wide explosion things, the effects. It's one here on the arm. This is a Bandai effect, but they both use 3mm pegs, so it works. There's one here on the leg. And of course, there has to be one here on the barrel. And as for a size comparison in robot mode, Warpath is definitely small, but he's not Minibot small, which is weird because he's supposed to be a Minibot. I don't really know why they just completely got rid of that size class and just made him a deluxe, to be honest, but hey, he is taller than Cliffjumper. Transformation isn't that difficult, but it is a little bit fiddly in a few places, and also it doesn't help. Hasbro quality kind of affects it a little bit. Things don't really want to sit flush in a few places. And here we have Warpath in his tank mode, and fairly G1 accurate. It didn't have the little gap here, but close enough. And honestly, it looks pretty good from all angles. Ignore that the treads are thinner in the back. But not very much white bleeds through underneath the paint, which is good. And the color matching isn't perfect, but it doesn't really bother me that there's two slightly different reds on it. It does expose his Autobot symbol. Kind of weird he doesn't have one in robot mode, but... And yeah, the shield hides away underneath here pretty nicely. And while we're under here, let's talk about these caster wheels, because mileage varies on these, obviously, but these things are... They don't roll super well. It's enough to get it moving, at least, but yeah, it's mostly just scraping across the ground. One thing that's really nice about Warpath, and something that I like that they've pretty much always given him aside from like a couple Legends figures, is a working turret. move up and down, and rotate a full 360. Completely independent of the rest of it. And it's nice that they managed to work that into the robot mode without making it, really jank in either mode. I don't really have any complaints about this, aside from a few of the tabs not wanting to lock in, but that's not Warpath's fault, that's Hasbro's fault. And as for a size comparison in vehicle mode, much, much shorter. Honestly, they did some pretty impressive mass shifting, considering he's not actually that much smaller, but he certainly feels it. He's not shorter, he's not thinner, but just something about collapsing it down into the tank mode really makes it feel small. So, to wrap this review up, I love Warpath. I'm biased, I really like Warpath in general, but Kingdom Warpath? Solid figure, no complaints. It's a very nice update to the G1 figure, a little bit janky here and there, but that's Hasbro, not this particular figure. It has good articulation in robot mode, does everything it needs to in tank mode, and the transformation is fairly quick and fun without being too simple. Really, my only complaint is the price up here in Kanakistan. This thing cost me almost $40, and for a figure this small, that's... Well, the thing is, there's plenty of figures this small that are way more than that, but this doesn't feel like a $40 figure because Hasbro's quality control, if it was $25, I'd call it worth it. I feel like it's a little bit overpriced, and that's not Warpath's fault in general. I think all Transformers are overpriced right now, to be honest, but that's in Canada, so if you think the price is fair, feel free to pick it up. No problems with this figure at all. Anyway, that's all for this review. Be sure to let me know what you think down in the comments below. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, helps a lot. Subscribe and hit the bell for future reviews. Go follow me on Twitter for updates, and consider supporting me on Patreon so I can keep making reviews just like this one. And as always, until next time, happy building.